Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Audrey with Windy Creek Acres. Where do I want to start? I'm going to start with something that's probably going to be controversial and everybody's going to have your opinion, but this is my opinion. We live in northern Alberta in Canada, and I've noticed over the last couple of years that the market is flooded. When I talk about the market, I talk about our goat market. We raise purebred Nubians. They're a dairy goat, and I take pride in what I raise. I am raising them to provide other people with homesteading dairy. That is what I enjoy. I enjoy having fresh milk in my fridge. I enjoy having that milk to make butter, make cheese, trying to make yogurt. Haven't perfected that one yet. Would like to learn how to make ice cream. That I do make soap too out of the milk that we get. So this soap I use for personal use as well as I do try to sell it. I think there's many great beneficial qualities to homemade goat milk soap. There's just so many endless opportunities to make things for your homestead, for your family to enjoy. So I'm going to start with why we chose the breed we chose. We chose Nubians. Well, I did. Sorry. I chose Nubians. I guess I'm not going to lie. It was kind of superficial. At first, I enjoy the way they look. I love their long floppy ears. I love their big Roman noses. But I also love their personalities. They are friendly. They are want to be in your face type friendly. They want to please. They're talkative. They're very social. And they're a standard size goat. I don't do small. The only thing small I have here on the farm right now for four-legged things is my indoor dog. And that's because having a big dog in the house just doesn't work. So yeah, that's why we chose the Nubians. Now I have found though over the last couple of years, and I'm not gonna lie, might have to do with COVID, might not, but our market is flooded. Very flooded, and so what that does is that drives the market down. We have things going for way cheaper than they should, and I just don't think that people look at quality when they buy animals, and that could go for everything. I'm just speaking on goats today. So the biggest thing I do notice is that people seem to buy for color. In my mind, color is a bonus, a super bonus. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have those moon spots. It's fun to have blue eyes. It's fun to have all those pretty features in a goat that makes them unique. But people are missing the fact that you need to start with a good foundation. If you don't have a good foundation, your goat is not going to hold up. You're not going to get those years out of that goat, whether it be for breeding and making you babies, whether it be for milk production. They're just not going to stand up. It might even be that their teats are too small, so you don't enjoy milking them. They're hard to milk. Their orifices are too small, which takes a long time to milk them out in the beginning, which makes it harder on your hands. But these are the things that I look for when I'm looking at goats, when I'm retaining for our herd growth, or I'm looking at bringing in for breeding quality. So I guess I'm going to go over what I look for, and maybe you could share a little bit about what you look for when you purchase a dairy animal. So let's start with, I guess, appearance and size, even though that's superficial. I look for standard size. So I do like the bigger, heavier goats. Most of my does are, I'm going to say, in that 150 pound plus area. I wouldn't say they're fat by any means because they're long in the body and they carry that weight well. I look at feet. Goats have to have good feet. If they don't have good feet, they're not going to stand up. They have to have straight legs. They have to have strong legs. I appreciate a goat that is long and deep in the body. Why is that? Mainly because I feel like they can carry the kids. They have room to carry the kids. They need to be wide in the hip area so that it makes it for easier delivery during birth. Speaking of mammary system, goats need, dairy goats especially, that should be a huge consideration when you're buying a dairy goat. You want good attachments. Good attachments are going to help carry that udder high and have good placement. It's not going to sag. It's not going to brush against the legs. It's not going to get caught up, get wrecked by brush that they walk through. You want them to have good teat size. Good teat size makes for easier milking. Hand milking, that is. Big orifices. Big orifices on a goat help you milk them out quicker. I also want to add that when it comes to teat structure, so that's placement and length, it's important. You don't want teats going out to the side of the udder where it's going to have potential to rub up against the legs, because then you are risking a possible infection. Those teats are going to rub on the legs, pick up bacteria, pick up dirt. Then you risk infection on your doe. Udder size, I guess. Production, milk production, you're looking at how much do you want your goat to produce, how many goats do you need to, in order to provide milk for your family, is a big thing. I know that we lack there. We're not big on milk production. That's why I have the numbers of dairy goats that I have. So I'm going to suggest that most of the does that I have are, 1 quart each milking is about what I get out of them. So when I milk them twice a day, I'm, getting roughly half a gallon a day per doe. But that is something that I am trying to correct. I want to increase the milk volume in my does going forward. Not that I can do it with my doe, but we can work on getting that better in the offspring that we are producing. So selecting bucks to complement those does to add the qualities that I'm lacking. I know that I do lack some qualities. I would say udder attachments are something that I need to improve on. Having more of a fore udder and a better attachment there is something. Volume is big, so I want to incorporate that into my herd. I want to be able to milk a doe and get, upwards of a gallon a day, and then I don't have to raise so many does. Which is going to be kind of cheaper in the end. So that's huge. That's big. And I am striving to produce goats that fit the breed standard. I see out there a lot of people trying to sell Nubian dairy goats that don't fit the breed standard. They're not even close. And I don't know if that's because somebody was lied to along the way, or people just don't pay attention to quality in their goats. It just kind of makes me really sad that I try my darndest to produce these quality animals, and I see stuff like that on the market that's moving, that's not breed standard, that doesn't have the qualities to help a good dairy goat keep going through the years. That's what you should be paying for, not paying for something that's not going to last, that you're going to have to replace in a few years. Just a little side note, my does do have good qualities, but you're always striving to better them. So I do look at my does and my bucks for that matter, and I do assess them. But I do see that they have straight top lines. Those straight top lines are important. They have to hold your goat up. They have to support that belly during pregnancy. They do have strong legs to support that extra weight during pregnancy, during their lactation. They do have that wide stance in the back end to allow for that volume of milk. So there is a lot of great qualities that we do have, but we're always striving to make it better. And so my prices are reflective of that. We do disease testing. So the 2 common diseases that we test for are CAE and Johne's, which are, in my mind, diseases you don't want in your herd. That can be a punishment for you if you end up with those diseases. CL, also not a good disease to have in your herd. I know there is ways to prevent it. There is vaccines you can use. There is, that's why we test. We don't test for CL, and reason being is that if we have an abscess and it's in a place where there is lymph nodes, then we test. We haven't had to though, so we've been fortunate enough. I think our biosecurity is decent, and we've only purchased from people with clean tested herds. When it comes to CL, there are vaccines that you can give here that we have available to us, but these vaccines that are for CL, I'm not sure that I want that in my herd either. Now, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that now once you've given that vaccine to the goat, doesn't matter what you test, now you're potentially getting a positive, a false positive, and then freaking out because you think your goat has CL. That doesn't allow you to know the true answer of what that abscess might be. So that's why we choose not to vaccinate for CL, but we will test if there is an abscess. So that's kind of where we start, a foundation. Now going forward, what do I see in the future? Definitely want to classify my herd. Now classifying is having somebody come out here and look at each goat individually and give them a score. And that score is going to tell me basically how good my dairy goat is at this point and what I need to change in the future to make it better. Then buying bucks to complement those does to improve in the spots I need to improve in those does. So I think that's the only way to go. Going forward, I'm not into showing. It kind of scares me a little, and that's just maybe me being naive on the topic, maybe not knowing what happens at a show, how a show runs. But I do know that that is kind of subjective information based on the judge present that day. You're being judged against the other competitors. So you might be winning first, seconds, thirds in a class, but that's against who else is there. You're being judged against the other goats that are there. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe this is an avenue we need to take to showcase what we produce. Yeah, I just don't hesitate to reach out. Let me know what I'm missing. Maybe I am missing something. Maybe I'm way out to lunch, but these are things I just have had on my mind, and I think that they need to be addressed. Not that you can ever, tell people what they need to buy, but you can educate. And education is priceless in my mind. That's kind of how I got started, and how I know that I need to improve and get better, is to help people have the quality that they need to stand up for years and years of milk production and healthy animals. So yeah, please let me know in the comments how you run your herd, how you plan to improve in the future, where you want to improve in the future, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know why I see people are buying the things that they're buying. Maybe I just see it because it's evident in the market, but I don't see what's behind the market. So with personal sales. Also, now that you're going to have to breed your goats to get milk, which means you're going to have kids, and those kids, you're either going to retain them for your herd growth, or you're going to sell them. Now, whether that be to another homesteader for milk production and breeding, or as a pet quality animal, or you throwing it into the meat market, you're going to have to sell them eventually, because nobody can keep everything, even though you want to, because trust me, they're all so darn cute when they're little. I have to be realistic and keep my numbers in check. I have to know what I want to produce, and keep the ones I know are going to help me get there. I just want to say thank you for joining me today on this little vlog, I guess you call it. This maybe is my first vlog. Just to get it out there, just to get people thinking and deciding what you want in your herd. It makes you think a little, makes you think about what you want in the future for your homestead. Hi, Bax. Macy, you're fine. You're a good girl. Yeah, you are. Everybody enjoys you. Yeah. This is Macy. Macy hangs out with the does. Oh, full time. She's a good girl. Yeah. Took her a few years to figure out her job, but she's got it now. Right, Macy? You're such a good girl. Yes.